Hi, Yogi. Thank you so much for joining me in this vinyasa practice. It is a fluid vinyasa practice today. So we'll be really working with marrying the body and the Maya kosha, the food body, the physical body, and the breath body, prana Maya kosha. So these two layers, when they align, when they harmonize, when they unify, it is said to take us one step closer towards this state that is deep, deep within us of ananda, of bliss. So, what I'm really asking you to do today is absolutely prioritize the felt experience. So, there'll be alignment points, absolutely. There'll be offerings of how to place your body. But I would love for you to let felt experience guide you. As we move through the practice, there will be different offerings, different suggestions, but what you take is entirely up to you. One is not better than the other. It might be helpful for you to have a block for today's practice. I'm going to grab mine in a moment. And when you're ready, we're going to start on our backs. We're going to start lying down. So once you've got everything that you need, come onto the back of your body and you can begin either in a reclined bound angle, a Supta Baddha Konasana, with your feet together and your knees apart, or you could have your feet as wide as the mat and then the knees knocking together. And with your arms, either one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly, or you're very welcome to spread the arms out or overhead, or just have them down by your sides. What I'd love for you to do is prioritize comfort in these first few moments. So just a point to land. And when you found your way into this first pose, just close your eyes. Take a big, beautiful breath deep into the belly and out. Let's take two more. Breathing in, breathing out. Third and final, breathing deeply in and let it go. And just allow the breath to return to quite a natural pace for the moment. And as you breathe, just start to arrive. One of the best ways to arrive in this moment, to step into a practice of mindfulness, is to ignite the senses. So just take a moment to notice the ground that's touching you, the support of the earth as it rises up to meet every point of your body that is in contact with it. And you might also start to notice maybe the feeling of clothes as they touch your skin, or the cool or maybe warm air around you. And allow any sounds that come easily to you to land in your ear with slightly heightened awareness. So it might be the sound of my voice, it might be the sound of something else going on around you. Just for a moment, tune into those sounds. Begin to deepen your breath slightly. A purposeful breath now. And it might be that your exhale is just a little bit longer than your inhale. On your next inhale, start to guide the knees together if they're apart, or heel toe the feet together if they are apart. And we'll start with a simple twist. Bring your left knee into your chest, straighten your right leg all the way away from you, and then gently guide the left leg over to the right hand side as you reach away from you with your left arm. And as you arrive, try and soften your right outer hip. Relax your left ankle. Soften your shoulders. And breathe. We're typically taught that spirituality is only found in the non-physical realms. Yet to fully experience our body's aliveness is to experience a profoundly spiritual state that's achieved by embracing our natural tendencies rather than denying them through very strict, disciplined, or restrained practices. Yogis, on your next inhale, come back to center and then just swap it over. So bring the right knee into the chest, straighten the left leg away, and guide the right leg over to the left side as you reach away from you with your right arm. And again, soften the left outer hip, the right ankle, the shoulders, the jaw, the eyebrows. So I share this with you because I believe that spirituality can be found through the body, that we can find this state of recognizing how vast the potential of what we know is by connecting to the vast potential of ourselves. So we move today connecting to felt experience, and we move in ways because they feel good, because they feel right, not because we have a shape to attain or some improvement to work towards, but rather because we're connecting just back to the sensate reality of being here. Yogis, on your next inhale, come back to center. And I'd love for you to just squeeze the knees into your chest, maybe have a little sway side to side or circles with the knees. And as you do so, really tune in to what you're feeling. So it might be that there are little pressure points here in the lower back. It might be that you find yourself swaying to one side with a little more ease than the other. And the most important thing about noticing the really, really subtle informations of this moment is that we slow down. We allow ourselves to be captivated by the small nuances. We allow ourselves to be here with what is, rather than thinking about where we're about to go. Allow that movement to subside now and start to rock forward and back, forward and back, forward and back until you come to a comfortable seat. And we'll start in this comfortable seat with our left ankle crossed over our right. We're going to reach the arms all the way out and up as we inhale, hands come to prayer overhead. As we exhale, separate the arms and start to fold forward. And as you come down into your fold, let the hands come out in front of you, wherever is comfortable. Press into the fingertips, lengthen through the spine. And then as you exhale, fold a little bit deeper. And if you find that when you do that, you can walk your hands a little bit further forward, then amazing, please do. See if you can let your head get heavy. As you pause here for a few breaths, maybe we can imagine this breath traveling to the space behind the kidneys. So breathing quite deeply into the lower back. Start to slowly walk your hands back in towards you. And we're going to bring the hands behind us. Come to a reverse tabletop pose. So you'll unravel the legs, bring the feet to the mat, knees at about hip width distance, and then press into the feet and the hands, lift the hips up, come to reverse tabletop. Engage in the glutes, broadening the collarbones, chin still tucked to the chest, so in control of our head. And then as you exhale, release the seat down and come to the second side of your seated pose. So your right ankle is in front of your left. Same as before, inhale, arms reach up tall. Exhale, separate the arms as you start to fold forwards until the hands come down to the earth in front of you. Inhale, lengthen through the spine, find your space. Exhale, soften down. See if the hands will walk a little further forward. Let the head get heavy. Breathing all the way in and all the way out. All the way in. All the way out. Just as before, yogis, start to walk your hands back towards you. Reverse tabletop, bring the hands behind you, unravel the legs, feet to hip width distance, press into the feet, lift the hips, chin again tucking towards the chest, glutes engaged, all four corners of the feet pressing into the earth. As you exhale, let your seat come to the mat, to cross one ankle over the other, and then come over onto all fours. So into your tabletop pose, VINYASA. And as soon as you arrive in your tabletop, you can start to move freely. And I'm saying that instead of encouraging a cat-cow, because I would love for you to really explore what it is that your body wants. What areas of the body need a little bit of attention. Maybe it's focusing on side bends today, rocking the torso side to side, lifting up through one shoulder as you drop through the other. Maybe, with all that said, cat-cow is exactly what you need. And you just allow yourself a few rounds of breath to feel in. Beautiful. Allow that movement to subside as you're ready. And then come into puppy pose. Start to walk your hands forward all the way to the top of the mat. Hips stay stacked over the knees. And then we'll drop the forehead to the earth. If you feel okay, stay here. Or bring your chest and your chin down to the mat. And as you come into this posture, invite a little bit of breath into the armpits, into the upper corners of your lungs. A soft engagement of your pelvic floor, just this gentle feeling of lift. Beautiful. From your puppy pose, start to lift your gaze, lift your head and heart, and then start to ripple forward. Let's come all the way down onto the front of the body, bending the elbows on our journey down. And as you come onto the front, bring your hands a little bit wider than your mat with your elbows pointing up to the sky. Press into the fingers and just start to lift the heart a little. So lifting the heart, lifting the head. There's still a big bend into the elbows here. And as you exhale, release down. Let's take that 3 times more, growing as we go. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, we release. 2 more. Inhale, we rise, maybe finding a little bit more space between the chest and the ground now. Exhale, we release. Let's take one last one together. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, we lower. Slide the hands underneath your shoulders, tuck your toes, come to an active child's pose. So pressing the hips back towards the heels. And as the hips come towards your feet, just start to tent into the fingertips again. So the arms are lifted off the earth, and there might be some space between your head and the ground, and that's okay. Again, breathe deeply into the armpits, breathe into the shoulders, breathe into the sides of your body. And then as you inhale, come into tabletop pose. And as you exhale, downward facing dog, send your hips up and back. And please take some time to pedal the feet. So as you lift one heel and that knee bends, the opposite heel presses firmly to the ground. And then we swap it over. And as you do this, be really mindful if you're kind of like on a bike, cycling the legs. See if you can really slow it down. So I remind you here before we go any further that the slower we move, the more we notice, the more information our brain has to keep us stable and to keep us safe. If you are having a little bit of a wiggle, let that subside now. And on your inhale, come forward into plank pose. So rippling forward. As soon as you hit your plank pose, soft bend into the knees, bend into the elbows, and then press your hips all the way up and back, downward facing dog. Let's take that 3 more times with your breath. Inhale, we come forward. Elbows and knees bend, downward facing dog. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. And exhale. From downward facing dog, come high onto the balls of your feet. Shift your gaze forward and take a few steps to get to the top of your mat. Remember, no rush. You're here. You have arrived. As you arrive, take your lift halfway. So nice long spine. Gentle bend into the knees, very welcome. And as you exhale, fold. Again, we're going to flow in and out of these. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift, breathe in. Exhale, fold. Take one more together. Inhale. Exhale. And this time we stay, we pause. You are very welcome to just rest your hands heavy on the ground. If it's okay, the backs of your hands on the mat. Or if it feels a little better for you, maybe crossing your arms or holding opposite elbows. Encouragement to let the head be really, really heavy. And if that's quite difficult, just tuck your chin towards your chest. Gently release the arms. Keep a soft bend into the knees as vertebra by vertebra we rise to standing. Nice and slow. So notice if you're rushing and just invite yourself back to this moment. Allow this to encapsulate the practice. There's no rush. There's just feeling. There's being. There's landing in the body and experiencing the practice from the inside out. As you come all the way up to standing, bring your shoulders up towards your ears, roll them back and down. Either stay with your feet at hip width distance or bring your big toes to touch and then let your heels be about an inch apart. Lots of energy through the fingers, so the palms are open for receiving. They are attentive. They are welcoming everything that arises as a vital part of the life that we're living. So we try to pull nothing towards us. We push nothing away. We simply move We breathe, we feel, and above all, we observe without ideal or agenda. Yogis, take a big, beautiful breath in and out. On your next inhale, reach your arms all the way up to the sky and lift the gaze to the space between your thumbs. And as you exhale, fold forward, bending your knees as much as you would like. Take your lift halfway, shoulders shrugging from the ears, neck is long. Hands on the ground, step your right foot and then your left foot back for high plank pose. From here, knees, chest, and chin come to the earth, Ashtanga Namaskar. And then slide forward, inhale, gentle cobra, rolling the shoulders back, clipping the elbows in, press all 10 toenails to the earth. Move through child's pose, active, tuck toes, hips to heels. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Take a steady breath in. Steady breath out. On your inhale, lift your heels, look forward, step lightly your right foot, then left foot to the top of your mat. Lift halfway, breathing in. Exhale, fold. Root to rise. Rise the hands all the way to the sky. Lift your gaze up, 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 up. Exhale, hands to prayer. Inhale, hands to the sky. Lift the gaze up. Exhale, bend the knees as you fold forward. Swan diving if you want. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, hands to ground. Step left foot and then right foot back. High plank pose. Breathe in. Knees, chest, chin once again. Knees to the earth. Hips spike up as chest and chin come down. And then slide forward onto your front. Reach your arms behind you, palms facing down. Energize the fingers towards the back of your mat. And then lift your head, lift your heart. Holding here for 3. Get the glutes a little bit engaged. Pressing through the tops of the feet so the legs are active. Release hands underneath your shoulders. Tuck your toes. Active child's pose. Exhale. Tabletop. Inhale. Downward facing dog. Exhale. Give yourself time to settle. Breathing all the way in. And all the way out. On your inhale, lift your heels. Soft bend into the knees. Look forward, lightly step left, and then right foot to the top of your mat. Halfway lift. Exhale to fold. And then rise all the way up. Reaching hands to sky, gazing up to the thumbs. Exhale, collect your hands in prayer at heart center. Inhale, hands to the sky. Lift up, look up. Exhale, fold all the way forwards. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the ground. Step right foot, then left foot back. High plank pose. Breathe in. Exhale, knees to the ground. Lower in one straight line all the way to the mat. Reach the arms behind you once again, palms facing down. Energize the knuckles to the back of the mat. Lift your head, lift your heart. This time lift your feet. Breathing steadily. Feel the front body magnetizing towards the back. This sense of drawing in at the center and lengthening from toes and crown of head. Active child's pose. Release the hands under the shoulders, tuck the toes, send the hips back towards the heels. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, downward facing dog. Hips come up and back. Beautiful. Again, pausing here. Just a couple of breaths. Noticing the placement of the hands. Do your shoulders feel spacious? If they don't, widen the hands a little bit. Maybe see how it feels to turn the fingers out slightly if there's sensation that's very sensitive or tender through the wrists. So remember, notice what you find and work with it. Trust your intuition to make little adjustments that I don't necessarily suggest. You know your body better than anyone else. On your next inhale, lift your heels, bend your knees, look forward. Let's take a little hop or a step to the top of the mat. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Come all the way back up to standing. Reach tall with the hands, lift the gaze to the thumbs. And last time, collect your hands in prayer at heart center. Take a moment just to be with the warmth, to be with that prana, that beautiful energy moving through every single cell, every energy channel of the body. Chair pose. Bend your knees, drop your seat, reach your hands forward and up. And as you exhale, fold. Take your lift halfway. Hands to the ground. Yogis, you can step, or if you'd like to jump back, you're very welcome to. It is a vinyasa of your choice from this moment forward. So you can add locust poses, cobras, you can be child's posing, you can be skipping out the vinyasas, doing handstands, whatever makes you happy, okay? From your downward facing dog, bring your big toes to touch at the back of the mat, and then just lift the right foot all the way to the sky. You're going to bend the right knee and then roll the right hip point open. Maybe take a little circle of the right ankle, if that feels quite nice. Yeah. And then when you're ready, straighten your right leg, level your hips out, step your right foot forward to the top of the mat, let your left knee come down to the earth. Keep your left toes tucked, please. Inhale, hands reach to the sky. Take opposite hands to opposite elbows. Roll the shoulders from the ears, the biceps away from the face, lengthen the tailbone down, and then press firmly into the right foot so we lift a little bit of the weight out of the foot. And as you exhale, soft side bend to the right side. And you might even imagine that right hand just pulling up on the very base of the left upper arm, the left tricep, to encourage a little bit more stretch down through the side body into the armpits, into the waist. On your inhale, come back to center. Exhale, softly release the hands around the front foot and step back, high plank. From high plank, direct to downward facing dog. From your down dog, left foot lifts to the sky. Bend the left knee, roll the left hip point open, and maybe again take a circle with the left ankle. Adjust your hands in any way if you need to. Make sure you feel safe, you feel stable. And then on your inhale, straighten your left leg, level your hips out. Exhale, step the left foot forward to the top of the mat. Right knee comes to the earth. Again, low lunge. Inhale, arms reach up. Hands to opposite elbows. Again, reach up through the elbows as you draw the arms slightly away from the face. Lengthen tailbone down. Press through the left foot. And then lean over to the left side. And again, you might take those left fingers to the top of the right tricep and just encourage a little bit more stretch. And just see how that feels. If it's interesting, awesome. If it's not, don't do it. It's all okay. On your next inhale, come back to center. Exhale, release the hands around your front foot. Step back, high plank pose. Inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Really nice. Option to stay in your down dog or come through a vinyasa. But coming through to plank, your variation of chaturanga, your heart opener, and then maybe through child's pose, but meeting together in downward facing dog. And as you arrive in your down dog, take a big, beautiful breath in and out. Wonderful. Okay. On your inhale, you're going to lift your heels, bend your knees, look forward, have a little hop or a step to the top of the mat. Halfway lift as you arrive, and then exhale, fold. Chair pose on your inhale, knees bend, seat comes low, and the arms reach up. Just for a breath as you exhale, fold forwards. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the ground. Take your journey to downward facing dog. So vinyasa, maybe but also maybe not. Cool. When you arrive in your downward facing dog, bring your big toes to touch again at the back of your mat. Lift your right foot high to the sky, bend the right knee and roll the right hip plane open again. Take a full breath in. And as you exhale, I want you to bring that knee forward and across to the back of the left arm. Really travel the weight into the hands so shoulders go forward from the wrists. Inhale, right leg reaches up and back. This time it's straight, hips are level. Exhale, step the right foot forward to the top of your mat. Keep the hands on the ground. Hint into the fingertips if we need a little bit more space. If the ground feels very far away, bring blocks under the hands. On your inhale, think broad collarbones, gaze lifts. As you exhale, straighten your right leg, moving in and out of these. Inhale is your runner's lunge. Exhale is your modified pyramid. Inhale. And exhale. Let's take one more together. Inhale, runner's lunge. Exhale, pyramid. Inhale, high lunge. Bend your right knee. Reach the arms all the way up to the sky. Beautiful. Squeezing inner thighs together, lengthening the tailbone down. Open out to warrior two. Your left heel turns down, hands are at shoulder height. Flip your right palm, reverse your warrior. Right hand lifts high to the sky. And then as you exhale, release your hands around your front foot. Come to easy twist. Come onto the ball of your back foot as you reach your right arm all the way up to the sky. Option to stay here or bring the left knee down to the earth. Reach back and catch your left foot. Hips getting heavy. Adjust the right foot if you need to. If it's going to feel more comfy for you to have the right foot over to the right side of the mat, absolutely do. You can play with lifting the hips and squeezing the left heel to the bum, or letting the hips drop. So the choice is yours. What you make this pose is yours. Beautifully done, yogi. Start to release your variation. Come to plank pose. Just going to step back to high plank and then downward facing dog. Big toes touching at the back of your mat. Bring your left foot to the sky. Bend your left knee, roll your left hip point open. On your exhale, bring the left knee forward and across to the back of your right arm. Give it a little touch, weight forward in the hands. Inhale, left foot up and back. Leg is straight, hips are level. Exhale, step forward, left foot to the top of the mat. Stay on the hands, keep the right knee lifted. Squeeze the inner thighs together, broaden the heart, open through the collarbones, lift the gaze. And as you exhale, straighten the left leg. So moving with our breath. Inhale, left leg bends. Exhale, left leg straightens. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale, runner's lunge. Exhale, pyramid. High lunge, bend the left knee, sole of the foot to the earth, hands reach all the way up to the sky. Find warrior two, turn your right heel down and open your heart to the right side of your mat. Reverse your warrior, flip your left palm, bring the hand high to the sky. Exhale, release your hands around your front foot. Easy twist. Right hand stays on the earth, left arm reaches all the way up to the sky. Option to stay, of course, or bring the right knee down. See if you can reach back with your left hand, catch your right foot. Again, you have those options that you can feel into it. What feels good? What feels best? What allows you to stay in the pose, to stay present with the pose rather than fighting. So it becomes an invitation rather than a battle, ideally, hopefully. Begin to release the right foot if you have it. Plank pose, yogis. Left foot steps to meet the right. And then a vinyasa if you would like, or straight back to downward facing dog. If you want to take a moment in child's pose, then please do take it. Okay. We're ready to move on. From downward facing dog, lift your heels. Bend your knees, look forward. Make your way back to the top of your mat. Lift halfway, breathe in. Exhale, fold. Chair pose, bend the knees, drop the seat, reach the hands forward and up. This time, we're going to rise high onto the balls of the feet. So you're going to lift the heels, maybe sink the seat down ever so slightly. Think about long, long tailbone here. So we want to feel lower ribs drawing in slightly. Very carefully, as you exhale, fold. Heels to the ground, fold over the thighs, sweep the arms behind you, interlace the fingers, energize the knuckles up to the ceiling as you lift and lengthen halfway, and then fold. Let the head be heavy. Let the weight of the hands create this soft hugging sensation in the front of the chest, the tops of the shoulders. Begin to release the hands now down to the earth. And on your inhale, take your lift halfway. Ooh, very warm shoulders. From here, it's your journey to down dog. So you're welcome to step, hop, jump, fly, float back, whatever it is that you do to get there. And we'll meet in downward facing dog. From your downward facing dog, on your inhale, right foot lifts to the sky, breathe in. Bend the right knee, roll the right hip point open. As you exhale, right knee comes forward and across to the back of your left arm, fall in triangle. Straighten your right leg to the left side of your mat, and then lift your left arm all the way to the sky. You're very welcome to find a big, beautiful stretch through the side body by reaching the left arm overhead. Three-legged dog, left hand to the mat, right foot reaches all the way up to the sky, and then we're going to step forward for high lunge. Right foot to the top of the mat. Shorten the stance if you need to. As you rise up, inhale, high lunge. Exhale, open out to warrior two. Left heel turning down. This time, reverse triangle. Straighten your right leg, reach your right hand high to the sky, and then triangle pose. Reach forward with the right hand. Right hand comes down, left arm reaches up. Kick your left heel out by a centimeter, please. So you can tilt your left sit bone towards the back of the room, scoop your right hip point under, and hopefully find a little bit more space in this posture. Blocks are very welcome, of course, under the right hand. From here, left hand to the left hip point. Bend the right knee, reach forward with the right hand in the gaze as you bring the weight into the right foot, half moon. Left leg lifts, left hand lifts. You're very welcome to bend the left knee, reach back and catch the left foot, kicking into the hand if you've taken that variation. If not, that's absolutely grand. You're going to be here with me, flexing through the left foot, powering up, charging up through the right leg. Okay, my love. Warrior two, bend your right knee, set the left foot to the back of the mat, land lightly, arms to shoulder height, and then flip your right palm, reverse your warrior, right hand lifts to the sky. Release the hands around the front foot. We're back in easy twist. You can spiral onto the ball of the left foot as the right arm reaches up to the sky. Option to stay here or come back into the lunge or side plank. If you're coming to side plank, you're very welcome to go to wild thing, stepping the right foot behind you, little drop of the seat, and then press through the outer left foot and the ball of the right foot, lift hips and heart to sky. Wherever you are, holding there for 3. Steady breathing. For 2. Release to your plank pose. Take your time coming out. Take a vinyasa if you'd like to, or straight back to downward facing dog. From your downward facing dog, big toes touch at the back of your mats. Lift your left foot high to the sky, bend the left knee and roll the left hip point open. As you exhale, left knee comes forward to the back of the right arm, fall in triangle. Extend your left leg to the right side. Reach your right arm either all the way to the sky or overhead for the side stretch. Three-legged dog, right hand to the mat. Left foot lifts all the way up to the ceiling, and then step forward, high lunge. Right foot can come in a little. Hands to the sky. Open out, warrior two. Reverse triangle. Straighten your left leg. Bring your left hand high to the sky. And then keep all that space. Triangle pose. Left hand comes down to earth, air, or block, or leg. And right arm reaches up. Again, kick your right heel out a little, so your right hip point can roll forward, right sit bone rolls back, left sit bone or left hip point scoops under, and then we kind of neutralize the spine by pressing the pubic bone slightly forwards. Half moon, right hand comes to the right hip, look down to the left big toe. Bend your left knee, reach your left hand forward, and find your way into your balance. Again, you've got all the variations. You could be here with me, reaching right hand up, bending the right knee, catching the right foot, or anything and everything else is very welcome. The only thing I ask yogis is that you're breathing. Warrior two, bend your left knee, land the right foot carefully at the back of the mat. Flip your left palm, reverse your warrior. Come back into your easy twist. Hands come around the front foot. Pivot onto the ball of the right foot. Lift your left hand to the sky. And then you have those options. Back into the lunge. If you'd like, you can come into side plank, any variation, or of course, wild thing. Take your time. There is no rush. There is no race. We're in it. We're here together doing it. Stay for half a breath more. And then when you're ready, release, find your way to plank pose. And then either through a downward facing, and then either through a vinyasa or straight back to downward facing dog. In your downward facing dog, take a big, beautiful breath in and out. On your inhale, lift your right foot to the sky. Final time, bend the right knee, roll the right hip point open. And then we're going to bring this right knee forward to the back of the right wrist. Place the knee on the ground. Shin is on the diagonal. Left leg shuffles back. Untuck your toes. Place any support you might need under your right hip points. And then come right up onto your fingertips. As you inhale, think about a broad chest, about collarbones smiling up. And as you exhale, bend your elbows and just start to fold softly forward. We're going to move in and out of these. Inhale, press into the hands, lift the heart. Exhale, bend the elbows, soften forward. Inhale all the way up. Exhale all the way down. Last one, inhale. And exhale. Now as you come down, reach the arms forward, come fully into your fold. Very carefully, yogis. Try to bring yourself out of the fold little bit by little bit. If you have any support under your right sit bone, we're going to remove it. We're going to roll over onto this right hip point. We're going to swing this left leg all the way around. The sole of the left foot lands on the outside of the ground on the outside of the right thigh, and then we can either straighten the right leg forward or you can tuck it in towards your left hip point. We're going to twist to the left, so your left hand comes behind you and your right arm really can just cradle the left leg. Encourage that your shoulders are soft, the back of your neck is long. And the breath is fluid and free. On your exhale, release. Bring the hands around the opposite side of your mat and just allow your heart to dip down. Whatever feels good, whatever feels right. And then start to face forward again. Reverse tabletop. Bring the hands behind you. Unravel the legs, feet to the mat. Press down into the ground with hands and feet. Lift your hips high to the sky. As you exhale, release the seat down. Cross the ankles, just like we did at the beginning. Roll over the shins, hands to the mat. This time we step back, high plank pose. You have the option to move through a vinyasa or come straight back to downward facing dog. In your down dog, left foot rises to the sky. Bend the left knee, roll the left hip point open. And then into your pigeon, bring the left knee forward behind the left wrist. Yes, shin is on a little diagonal. And then right leg is going to shuffle back. Again, take any support that you might need under your left hip points. And then come up onto the fingertips with your hands a little bit wider than the mat. On your inhale, open heart, lift gaze. As you exhale, bend the elbows, soften down towards a fold. Inhale, we rise back up. Really press through the fingertips. Exhale, we soften down. Inhale, we rise. Exhale, fold. Last one now. Inhale, we rise all the way up. Exhale, we release down, and this time we stay in the fold. Do what you can to stay with what is. Do what you can to stay with what is. And start to slowly bring ourselves out of the fold. Just back up onto the hands, lifting the heart. Remove any support into the left side, and we're going to roll over onto this left sit bone. Bring this right leg all the way forward. Right foot on the outside of the left thigh, and either left leg straight in front of you or left foot towards your right sit bone. And we'll twist to the right. Right hand behind us. Again, left arm can just cradle the right leg. Spine is long, shoulders are soft, crown of the head reaching up. Use your exhale to release. Hands coming around the opposite side of the mat, any comfy counter. And then face forward. I'm going to unravel the legs now. Bring the feet together and let the knees separate. Come into bound angle. Nice and long through the spine. Lift up, grow, tall. Exhale, fold. We always used to call the poses towards the end of our practice the deep and meaningful poses, with a little bit more time in them. And we might start to notice a little bit more depth to the information. Maybe even completely new experience that we can captivate ourselves upon. And we slow the pace of the practice down. We slow the breath down. And very much stepping out of doing and into being here in the body, in this sacred temple. With care, begin to rise out of the fold. And just let your hands come to your knees. You're going to help them back towards one another. Feet about hip width distance again. You might want to shift slightly forward on your mats as you reach the arms out in front of you. And then let's lower the lower back, and then the middle back, and then the upper back, all the way to the ground, vertebra by vertebra. And as you come down, just bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself a nice big squeeze. And then release your feet to the floor. Let your left leg wrap over your right. Shift hips 2 inches to the left side, and then let the knees come to the right side as you reach away from you with your left arm. Use your next inhale to come back up to center. Unravel the legs. Shift the hips 4 inches over to the right. Let your right leg wrap over your left. And then allow your knees to come to the left side as you reach out with your right arm. Jaws soft. Eyebrows heavy. On your next inhale, come back to center. Unravel the legs, bring yourself back to the middle of the mat. And feel free to bring the knees into the chest or find a happy baby or something similar. If there's any final sensations that you really crave, this is the time. Time to honor the body, trust the body, give it what it asks for. Whenever you're ready, the only place for us left to go is Shavasana. Take your time, of course, arriving, spreading out, taking up space, getting jumpers or blankets or socks or whatever it is that might bring you the most comfort possible. And then allow your eyes to close. We release the practice by releasing the breath. So with me, take a big, beautiful breath in. Let it go. Let's take one more. Sounds are very, very welcome. Breathing in. And then let go of any control that you have on your breath. That you have on your body. Let your feet be heavy. Relax your glutes. Relax the space in between each of your back ribs. I invite you to stay here for as long as you can, to really gift yourself the gift of rest. Not only for the body, not only for the heart, but for the mind. You allow yourself to be still with nowhere to go. Whenever you feel ready, take your time and just gently find your way back to the world. And I leave you here in sacred stillness until we meet again. Thank you, yogis.